it's Fo from MamaAndMoney.com, where I teach you how to make and manage money to become financially free. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 savings accounts that you should have for your money. If you're interested in learning what these are, stay tuned. All right, guys, so when it comes to savings accounts, you want to find an account that allows your money to work for you. This means you need to find an account that has a high annual percent yield, meaning your money is going to gain interest and you will get pretty much paid for having your money sit in the account. That's kind of like the short way of explaining how savings accounts work. Nonetheless, you'll earn interest on your money that's sitting in a savings account. And the accounts that have the highest annual percent yield tend to be online savings accounts. So if you're trying to figure out exactly where to save your money, I would definitely recommend that you check out online savings accounts that will give you a higher annual percent yield, meaning that you will earn more interest on your money that is sitting in the account. Now, the whole purpose of a savings account is for you not to touch your money. That money is meant to be used either at a later time or in the event of an emergency. So the intent of saving is to save, not to spend. So keep that in mind when you are thinking about these savings accounts and when you're putting money aside. You want to make sure that, one, your savings is growing and that you're putting it in an account that will work for you, but also that you're putting money aside in a way that you don't touch it. When it comes to savings accounts, I recommend not putting it in the same bank as your checking account so that you don't have immediate access. The only exception that I will make is for the first savings account that I'm going to tell you about, and that is having a short-term emergency fund. So this is an emergency fund that you can immediately access. It's a small amount. It's not your fully funded emergency fund, which is about 6 to 12 months of your expenses in an account. This is $1,000 or less that you have set aside in case of an emergency where you need immediate cash. So if you have a tire that blows, if you have trouble with your car and you need to get it fixed immediately, you want to have money that you can easily access and transfer to your checking account, not connected to your checking account, but that you can transfer into your checking account or pull out cash so that you can pay for that emergency. So the first type of savings account that you should have is a short-term emergency fund. Again, this is not connected to your checking account, so that does not mean that you have the liberty and freedom to dip into the savings account if you go over your budget or if you overspend. It is simply to have money available that you can access immediately. Now, this obviously isn't the case with online banks. With online banks, you will have to wait a certain period to either transfer the money into a checking account, or you will pay some premium at an ATM to take that money out of a checking account. So you want to have an account with a local bank, perhaps, where you have access to the money, or you can at least transfer it to a checking account and be able to withdraw it easily in the event of an emergency. So the first account that you want to have is a short-term emergency fund that is $1,000 or less that you can access in the event of an immediate emergency. Now, the second type of savings account that you want to have is a fully funded emergency fund. This is where you get into your 3 to 6 to 12 months worth of expenses in an account. So basically all that means is you need to look at how much it costs for your rent or your mortgage, how much it costs for you to have food, to have electricity, all the necessities. How much does that cost you per month? And you want to have 6 times that or 12 times that in a savings account. Now, for this savings account, because you don't immediately need that money, this is in case maybe you lose a job and you would need to have, money to be able to replace your income. This money can be set aside in an online bank where you don't have to access it every day. The money can be transferred there and just sit there and gain interest over time. So this is the second type of savings account that you want to have. Again, it's best suited for an online savings account or an online bank. And when you are putting money in your emergency fund, an easy way to make sure that you're saving and putting money aside is to automate your savings. So you can do that through your employer, or you can do it through your bank to have automatic transfers go to your online savings account. So this is the second type of savings account that you need. Again, it is best suited for an online bank so that you can maximize your money and earn interest on the money that's sitting there. The third type of savings account that you need to have is retirement savings, or otherwise otherwise known as a retirement investment account. So you need to be putting money aside for your future. You are working today so that you don't have to work tomorrow, and that you have funds available to fund your life when you are no longer able to work or no longer want to work. If you are an employee, your employer typically offers this through a 401k. Take advantage of this employer-sponsored retirement savings account, and definitely take advantage of the employer match if you have that available to you. You need to have some kind of retirement savings account where you're putting money aside and you're investing into your future, so that when it's time to retire, you actually have money to retire and to take care of all of those necessities and even those extras that you want to enjoy in life. That is the third type of savings account that you need to have, a retirement savings account. The fourth type of savings account that you need to have is what I call sinking funds. So this essentially means that you have a savings account for any type of major financial goal that you have. So if you're saving for a car, if you're saving for a house, if you're saving for a baby, those are major milestones and also very expensive things that you need to save for. And so you can create separate savings accounts or sinking funds where you put money aside every time you get paid, and you incrementally build up the savings for that particular goal that you have. If it's to buy a car, you could put aside maybe $50 each pay period, and over time that money will grow in your savings account. So when you're ready to actually purchase your vehicle, you have the cash available to do so. The whole point with these savings accounts or sinking funds is that you are eventually going to spend the money, but you need to have a place to put it until it's time, and so that you can build that money over time. These are sinking funds, or pretty much having a savings account for each of your major financial goals. And the fifth type of savings account that I recommend that you have is a health savings account. Now, this is available to people who have high deductible insurance plans. It's basically a tax vehicle that you can use to put money aside to cover health expenses. So every time I get paid, there's a certain amount of money that goes into my health savings account, which is tax free. That money can build up, and eventually it can get to a point where you can actually use the funds in that account to invest and earn more money. But the whole point of it is to be able to have funds available to pay for medical expenses. A great example is if you are pregnant, if you're having a child, having that money set aside in a health savings account can be very beneficial to you. You can have a lump sum of money that you can use to put towards your medical bills and any other thing related to your pregnancy or any other medical event. Again, is a tax vehicle that you can use to reduce your taxable income. There is a limit on the amount of money that you can put in it per year, but it is such a great thing to have when you go to the doctor, or if you have an emergency, medical emergency, you have money available that you can use to pay for those expenses that aren't necessarily covered by your insurance. So it's great to have just an account set aside for medical expenses that you don't have to worry about in your budget. You can just automate money into that account and not have to worry about. So that is the fifth account that I recommend if it is available to you. Get a health savings account that you can use to put money aside for medical expenses. All right, guys, so those are the 5 savings accounts that I recommend that you have for your money. If you have any more suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll talk to you in another video. Bye.